From JBS Studios in Greater New York, this is the JBS News Update with Teisha Bader.
I'm Teisha Bader with the JBS News Update for Friday, June the 22nd, 2018. The U.S. peace team met today with Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu in Jerusalem. White House Special Advisor Jared Kushner and Special Representative for International Negotiations Jason Greenblatt sat down with Netanyahu as well as with Israel's ambassador to the U.S., Ron Dermer, and U.S. Ambassador to Israel, David Friedman, on what was the final stop of their Mideast tour this week, which began Tuesday in Jordan, Wednesday in Saudi Arabia. Yesterday, the team was in Egypt and Qatar, and today, Israel. The White House released a statement about the meeting in Jerusalem today, saying they discussed the means by which the humanitarian situation in Gaza can be alleviated while maintaining Israel's security. They further discussed the continued commitment of the Trump administration and Israel to advance peace between the Israelis and the Palestinians. The U.S. peace initiative could be unveiled sometime this summer. 2 explosive devices were planted near the Tomb of the Patriarchs in the West Bank city of Hebron today. Israeli border police discovered the IEDs at 2 locations near security checkpoints and brought in sappers to defuse them in a controlled explosion. There were no injuries. Last night, an IED was thrown at a border guard station near the entrance to the holy site, the second time in a week. There were no injuries there, and security forces were searching for the suspects. Prime Minister Netanyahu today responded to charges his wife is facing for allegedly misusing state funds. As we reported to you, Sarah Netanyahu was indicted yesterday for fraud, along with a former deputy director of the Prime Minister's office, for using $100,000 of state money to order in gourmet meals, which is against regulations if there is a cook on staff. Netanyahu called his wife's indictment a new height of absurdity. He said that spending regulations in the Prime Minister's office had no legal standing because they had not been approved by the government. Sarah Netanyahu's attorney said the Prime Minister's wife did not know the regulations and no crime was committed. Israel's Defense Minister Avigdor Lieberman met today with his Greek and Cypriot counterparts in Cyprus to discuss ways of cooperation and coordination in regards to defense and counter-terrorism. Lieberman told Greek Defense Minister Panos Kamenos and Cyprus's Minister Savas Angelidis rising extremism and the threat of terrorism are challenges shared by all Mediterranean nations and require that friendly nations cooperate to achieve regional stability. The three also discussed cooperation in cybersecurity, joint military drills, and search and rescue operations. This was the second trilateral meeting of its kind. The next meeting between the 3 defense chiefs will be held in Israel. Staunch Israel advocate, distinguished columnist, and political commentator Charles Krauthammer has died. Krauthammer was a medical student at Harvard University when a diving accident put him in a wheelchair. He then became a psychiatrist and later entered the political realm as a speechwriter for Vice President Walter Mondale, going on to become a regular columnist for a number of publications, including The Washington Post, for which he received the Pulitzer Prize for commentary. Just 2 weeks ago, Krauthammer posted a note to his readers on the Post website, as well as on the website of Fox News, where he was a regular commentator, that the cancer he had battled for some time was back. Doctors had told him he had only weeks to live. In his farewell note, Krauthammer said he had lived a wonderful life and had no regrets. He wrote, "I am sad to leave, but I leave with the knowledge that I lived the life that I intended." Israeli Prime Minister Netanyahu mourned Krauthammer today, calling him one of Israel's greatest friends of all time. Charles Krauthammer is survived by his wife Robin and son Daniel. He was 68 years old. A film that examines the rise of anti-Semitism in present-day France opens tonight in New York City and Los Angeles. Spiral looks closely at the causes behind the resurgence. The film's producer, Charles Cohen, recently sat down with Mark Golub on L'Chaim to discuss the film, which opens tonight at the Quad Cinema in Manhattan and Laemmle Music Hall in L.A. Taking a look now at our programming tonight on JBS for Friday, June the 22nd. Live Shabbat services are coming up at 6 o'clock from New York City's Central Synagogue, followed by performances from the Krakow Festival. At 8, French intellectual Bernard-Henri Lévy speaks to NYU law professor Thane Rosenbaum at the 92nd Street Y. At 9, it's the film Forgotten Refugees, about the mass expulsion of Jews from Arab countries and Iran in the 20th century. At 10, Shahrazani speaks with Alaska Airlines pilot and navigator Elgin Long, who recalls his role in the covert rescue mission which brought thousands of Yemenite Jews to Israel. At 10:30, it's Musica with musician Chemi Rudner. And coming up right after this newscast tonight at 5:30, Rabbi Shlomo Riskin looks at this week's Torah portion. And that's the JBS News Update for Friday, June the 22nd, 2018. I'm Teisha Bader. Shabbat Shalom.